Thanks for staying tuned. I'm Stanford Howard with the October 22nd Tuesday edition of the HGP Sportscast. With football, Fruta Conquerors is this year's Lime McCall football champions after a heated contest that ended 2-0, thanks to most valuable player, erasing all hopes of Santos' side. Nicholas MacArthur found the back of the net twice in the second half to seal the deal for Conquerors. The details in this Jaden Samuels report.
With both sides going goalless in the first half, what looked as though it was going to go down to a penalty shootout was renounced, since MacArthur obviously had other plans, finding the back of the net in minute 117 and again just before the whistle to make him the tournament's most valuable player. Celebrations erupted as the eagerly anticipated whistle was blown, making the announcement crystal clear. In the third place playoff, Rhythm Squad proved too good for Pele, who was sent packing 1-0. GFF President Wayne Ford, speaking after the final, said the under-20 teams will continue to appear in the association's knockout tournament and an initiative fixed for improving the playing hours. The fact that the two under-20 teams were able to finish on top of the senior sides speak to the quality of football played at the association level, which is a major concern for the Guyana Football Federation. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
In hockey, Tigers clawed their way to the top of the ladies division as Pepsi Hikers clinched the win over YMCA Old Fort in the GTT National Indoor Hockey Championships. More in this report. After a week-long of intense competition, the best of the teams faced off at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall on Sunday to contest the four divisions to see who would take home top honors. In the ladies division, GCC Spice took on the ferocious Tigers. In the first division matchup, Sonia Harding then scored one of her 2 goals in the 15th minute. But Sandy Rupnarine, who has been consistent in the tournament, answered before the break. Harding would go on to score her second goal, while Gabrielle Javier made it 6-1. Nevertheless, the pair of Sandy Rupnarine and Shakiba Baptiste scored consolidating goals in the final minute of the clash to finish the attack with a 6-3. And leading goal scorer Martiza Fetag was the mastermind behind the attack with a hat-trick. The Tigers' Brianna Gordon was adjudged the best female goalie. Martiza, who described the tournament as really good, touched on the composition of the team for the finals.
To the finals, I know that the people that we played in final, which is our second team, they had a really tough semi-finals against our junior girls, so we kind of used that against them. But in all, we all played well. I'm proud of my team.
On the men's side of things, Pepsi Hikers wasted no time in their attack towards YMCA Old Fort Delta Force, with patrons being able to witness Hikers leading 3-up to the half-time. But the game was far from over when the wits of Omar Hopkinson brought Old Fort back into the game, as minutes later Robert France scored a second goal 1 minute from full time. Old Fort managed a third goal in the dying seconds of the game, but they never really threatened the champions. Andrew Stewart of Hikers won the MVP award, while his teammate Angroy Bancroft netted the most goals with 13. And Old Fort's Paul Danrad was awarded the best goalkeeper. Robert France spoke of his team's performance throughout the tournament.
We started getting a little lackadaisical down at the atom. We almost caused the game. So what? The senior guys hold the nerves, and we come out with the win.
How good was this tournament leading into the Diamond Mineral Water International Festival for you guys to continue to do well over the years?
Well, going into Diamond, winning this tournament was the aim, going into Diamond. But a lot of guys, we had a good practice session. So now that we see the strength and some weakness, so we could go back now to the backboard and try and get better for the Diamond.
For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard. The West Indies Full Board Championships fired off on Monday with the individual competition at the Tucker Valley Rifle Range, Chaguaramas. More in this report. Defending champion Guyanese Ransford Goodluck is one of the 75 shooters that is competing at the West Indies Full Board Championships. Stiff participation will also come from Canada, England, Bermuda, Antigua, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago, who is hosting the competition after many years. The tournament, which is being facilitated by the Northern Rifle Association of Trinidad and Tobago, will conclude on Saturday, following the second team short-range match, and the Guyanese will be aiming to regain this trophy. Since there is no long range in Trinidad and Tobago, the Guyanese contingent will retain the championship trophy for another year. Firing off the first shot Monday to officially commence this year's competition was the acting chief of defense staff, Colonel Darnley Wilk. History has been created in Trinidad since it's the first time that there will be the introduction of the innovative technology throughout the use of electronic targets, which will be used and tally points for the tournament. The individual championships will continue Tuesday and end on Wednesday, when the winner will be decided. Thursday will be a rest day when the annual general meeting of the WIFBSC takes place. Guyanese Ryan Sampson is the secretary, while Jamaica's Major John Nelson is the president, and both are expected to retain their positions. Friday will be a team match with the West Indies team match, both being shot at the short range 300, 500, and 600 yards, is set for Saturday. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard. In observance of football legend King Pele's 79th birth anniversary, the Masters Football Fraternity has put together a clash of the old-timers, a must-see according to the organizers. Speaking with HGP Sport representative of the Masters Fraternity, Alan LaRose, explains.
Beginning at 6:30 p.m. sharp, it's going to be a Pele lineup against Santos lineup. Both sides will be boasting former players of that era. Gordon Braffett, the national football coach and outstanding defender in his time. Vibert Dirty Butts, the man who would have scored Guyana's first World Cup goal, also part of that lineup. And also there will be Herbert Pillio, another past national player. There's Royston Erskine. There is several other players that will be making up that Pele aggregation. And on the Santos side, Lloyd Smith, Conrad Paris, yours truly, Alan LaRose, Jolian Lewis, Peter Prescott, who would have played national youth football, outstanding goalkeeper in his time, will also feature in that lineup. The game is being sponsored by the Flashback 2020.
And finally, in cricket, newly appointed West Indies white ball captain Kieron Pollard is reassuring the insularity in selection will be eradicated during his tenure. More from Samuel Gillis.
Newly appointed West Indies white ball captain Kieron Pollard will oversee his first assignment next month when West Indies take on Afghanistan and India in 3 T20s and 3 one-day internationals. And after participating in his first selection meeting, Pollard said he is focused on ensuring that performance and not nationality will determine the composition of teams going forward. One of the major things we selectors talked about is the narrow-mindedness that has been going on in the Caribbean. And it is something we want to stamp out, Pollard stated, because according to him, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you're from, which part of the islands you're from. Once your performance is there, once you fit into the dynamics of the team, you fit into what they are looking for, selection is sure. Pollard has replaced Jason Holder and one-day skipper Carlos Brathwaite as T20 captain and takes over a side struggling in both formats. Currently, West Indies team is ranked number 9 in the 50 overs version, following on from their disastrous World Cup showing earlier this year in England, and are also 9th in T20s, even though they are reigning world champions. Pollard conceded that helping the West Indies improve their fortunes would be a challenging task, but that he was ready for the pressure associated with the captaincy. But questions are being asked as to how ready he is, after being obviously upset, after being booed in Guyana, and then expressing that his team deserved to lose the semi-finals because they did not play well in the CPL. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Thank you, Samuel. And that's all we have for this edition of the HGP Sportscast. But do remember, many men go fishing all of their lives without knowing that it is not fish they are after. Over to you, Handel. Goodbye.